Secretary General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. May I now invite the Honourable Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to deliver a few words.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. And a good evening to everyone. Yang Mohamad Datuk Saifuddin bin Abdullah, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cabinet Ministers, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for according me the honor to officially launch the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. It is indeed a pleasure to see the presence of so many distinguished guests this afternoon to commemorate yet another milestone in the history of Wisma Putra. This framework, to my mind, has captured the essence of the foreign policy direction of the current administration. More importantly, it has also captured the salient issues that I raised in my speech at the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly last year. Essentially, the basic elements of our foreign policy remain unchanged. Malaysia continues to pursue an independent, principled and pragmatic foreign policy founded on the values of peace, humanity, justice and equality. Malaysia also believes in maintaining friendly relations with all countries, peaceful resolution of disputes based on international law and the norms. Despite that, Malaysia reserves the right to express its opinion and, if necessary, its protestations against injustices, oppressions, and other crimes against humanity that is committed by any nation. Malaysia had never shied away from what it believes to be responsibility and commitment to mankind. What is changing is the way Malaysia approaches certain issues affecting our interest. Hence, the overarching theme of this framework is change in continuity. This will be the direction of the implementation of our foreign policy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a world where changes take place at a very rapid pace. These changes bring both challenges and opportunities. It is therefore only logical that Malaysia does not stick to the traditional methods of engagements and instead proactively seek to explore new approaches. This framework will guide Malaysia in the conduct of its foreign policy by taking the following approaches. One, to participate actively in discussions at various international level where or for Malaysia that is already a member, which Malaysia is already a member. To influence decision-making processes at various international meetings where Malaysia is not a member, even if Malaysia is not a member. And three, to shape the discourse on emerging issues such as Industrial Revolution 4.0, and the blue economy. The framework is a living document. It serves as a guide to Wisma Putra and as a main reference to those who are interested in Malaysia's foreign policy. While the realm of foreign policy is the international sphere, it cannot be detached from the domestic realities. Simply put, foreign policy begins at home. In this regard, foreign policy cannot be effective if it contradicts the expectations and realities of the domestic environment. Therefore, I need to stress the importance of inter-agency cooperation in implementing policies formulated by the government. I am happy to note that this framework is a result of the thorough and comprehensive reviews and assessments, including consultations with various interested parties. Let me underline that the participatory approach has become the cornerstone of the current government in upholding and promoting cardinal principles such as transparency, openness, and good governance. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, multilateralism is under threat. We see powerful countries unilaterally imposing their will on others. Malaysia is extremely concerned over this development. We also see countries flagrantly violate international agreements and United Nations resolutions. The development in Palestine and Jammu Kashmir are some of the examples. Similar trends can be observed on the trade and economic fronts. There are powerful countries imposing unilateral sanctions, not respecting trade agreements, and blatantly disregarding multilateral framework. These sanctions affect not only the particular country singled out, but other countries as well. There is no equity here. The rich and the powerful will take what they wish, but the poor and the weak will yield what they must. Malaysia will submit, but Malaysia will submit what it must, but it will be under open protest. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, let me once again congratulate Yang Mohamad Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah for the hard work which went into the drafting and publishing of this foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. I'm confident that this living document will be a valuable source of reference not just to Malaysian diplomats, but also to all interested parties as well. The challenges are huge and the stakes are high. Malaysia will nevertheless remain steadfast in pursuing the foreign policy goals based on the principles of justice and fairness. I am optimistic that we'll be able to achieve these goals. On that note, it is with great pleasure that I officially launch the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. I'm now pleased to invite the Honourable Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, accompanied by the Honourable Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, the Honourable Datuk Haji Marzuki Haji Yahya, and His Excellency Datuk Sri Muhammad Sharul Ikram Yaakob for the symbolic launching of the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the official launching of the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. Members of the media are welcome to pose questions.
Okay. No question? Thank you. Oh. Yes.
Just wanted to get an update on Malaysia's situation. Are you sure of getting steady supply from Saudi after the attacks on the Aramco pipeline?
Then you will have to ask Saudi about that. It's for them to decide, not for me. I have to say what has to be said. We stand for fairness and justice.
In Cabinet today, what decision or outcome with regards to tackling the worsening situation? 1,000 schools closed, affecting 1 million students. Cabinet today, any outcome?
Cabinet did not discuss the issue. Oh, I see. Sorry, I couldn't make out what you said. We did discuss about Johor. We think that we should publicize the actual effect more through government statements, showing where the hotspots are. We also want to take action against those Malaysian companies which have estates outside Malaysia, which are contributing towards the haze because of burning in their estates. We will ask them to take action to put out the fires. But of course, if we find that they are unwilling to take action, we may have to pass a law which will make them responsible for fires in their property, even if it's outside Malaysia.
Have you written to President Jokowi that?
No.
Mr. Prime Minister, so you know in the 1970s, the popular song Roberta Flack saying "This offering." Can you tell us how you, as one of the eldest leaders of ASEAN, are coping with this case? And in particular, how are you handling? Your wife just came out from hospital. How did it affect the both of you? Can you share it? How are you handling your wife in the haze situation?
Well, we're trying to deal with this haze. They may come every year. That would be very bad indeed. But we have to find ways of dealing with the haze, among which would be cloud seeding and also confining people to their homes and closing schools for the period. These are measures that we have taken. But we need to find ways of reducing the haze on our own. I think cloud seeding is one of them, but maybe also we need to spray water in certain places, so as to bring down the amount of haze. Sometimes we are a weak country, we realize that, but sometimes powerful countries take action unilaterally, and there is nothing we can do about it. And we will protest, but whether it is effective or not, we do not know. powerful countries are the biggest breakers of the law that they formulated.
Tun.
The US next week at the UN Assembly, they are planning to confront China on the Uyghur detention centers in Xinjiang. Will Malaysia support this? Will Malaysia make a stance as part of this new foreign policy change in continuity? Yeah.
Here we will talk on the need for people to rule a country in accordance with the laws that they have.
Tun, dalam keadaan jerebu yang semakin teruk ni, wajarkah sekolah ditutup sehingga hari Jumaat? So tak perlu tengok IPU setiap hari.
Tak perlu tengok
IPU setiap hari. So, setiap pagi kadang-kadang ada budak dah sekolah, dah pergi ke sekolah tapi tiba-tiba IPU tinggi kena balik. So patutkah kerajaan umumkan tutup sekolah terus sampai at least sampai hari Jumaat?
Tutup semua sekolah. Tak boleh lah. Kita kena tahu banyak mana. Kerana haze ini bukan sama seluruh Malaysia. Mengikut laporan pada pagi kita semua akan pindah ke Kedah dengan Perlis pasal tak ada haze.
Why didn't you write to President Jokowi, as maybe you're being said that you will write to the President of Indonesia?
Our people have already raised this matter with Indonesian ministers, but they claim that the haze is originating from Malaysia, not from Indonesia.
So is there any evidence to prove that?
Evidence?
Yeah, from Indonesia or from your...
That's why I say we should publish maps showing satellite pictures of hotspots.
The Indian government has challenged your claim that no extradition request was made for Zakir Naik. They insist they had made a request in January. Could you comment on this?
Zakir Naik. What is the request for India?
No. They say that they have challenged your claim that no extradition request was made for Zakir Naik. They say they actually made a request in January.
From India?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I met Mr. Modi. He didn't raise the issue. He did mention about Zakir Naik, but he didn't ask that Zakir Naik be sent to India. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Announcing the departure of the Honourable Dr. Mahathir Mohamad,